Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Around town and people are talking to you about the Rockets? Is it more, hey, we're so excited, Westbrook and Harden together, or is it, man, this better work?
No, they think championship. Yeah, they're thinking championship. I mean, you get a guy like Russell Westbrook who's averaged a triple-double the last, 2 or 3 years, and you add him with James Harden who's coming off a phenomenal season. They expect these guys to figure it out and take this team to the promised land. I don't see it because I just don't know how it's going to work out with Russ being on the ball and James sitting waiting for a pass. I think James wants the ball, and James having the ball, creating his own shot, I don't see it working with Westbrook.
Only reason it won't work, if it could work, but when you got two players that like to play isolation basketball on the same team, it's kind of like they got to figure it out as the season go on. With the Rockets, it's all about ball movement. When you got two of your star players that like to play isolation basketball, can they rotate the basketball to other players so other people get the touches and get open shots? That's all it's about. But when you got two players that like to have the basketball in their hands and one of them got to just sit there in the corner and watch, how you going to win a championship like that? Be aggressive, move without the basketball, and dish it off to an open man. When you got two players that just like to be on the basketball. Like, you watch their game, so it's one of them sitting in the corner and watching them do isolation. Like that's why they gotta figure out as the season go on. Because you can't win a championship like that, man. You gotta rotate the basketball, learn how to move out the basketball. We understand like y'all both need a basketball in your hands, but when y'all don't have the basketball in your hands, move without the basketball. Rotate the basketball a lot more. That's what's gonna help them determine and become champions. If they learn how to utilize the basketball and create shots for their own their teammates, then you can make some noise like that. But both of them just like to have the basketball in their hands.
In the corner waiting for a pass to knock down threes, that's just not his game. And he's never played without the ball. Like, he needs the ball. So I don't see it work. To me, I'm sure GMs and coaches and players around the league are like, thank you for trading Chris Paul, because Chris Paul doesn't turn the ball over that much. He's a great mid-range shooter, great three-point shooter, and now you have a guy that is not a great outside shooter, and that's what D'Antoni wants these guys to do.
And this has been an elite defensive team the last couple of years. That's what allowed them to be able to compete with Golden State and really play them tougher in the West than anyone else had. They're not going to be as good of a defensive team with Russell Westbrook trading him for Chris Paul. And I think for Houston, that's a big part of the equation. And they lose some depth with Gerald Green being out, and they've tried to look at the trade market to see if there's another wing they can bring in. That's going to be difficult for them. But I think they'll score points. Every point Tracy made is exactly right about whether they complement each other. But defensively, they're going to be lessened.
Now, Mike D'Antoni came out and said, I'm just going to get out of the way. What do you expect tonight?
Well, listen, I told you, I expect James to average close to 40 points.
Yeah?
That's just who he is, the system. This guy just seems like he's getting better every single year. I expect them to be exciting in the regular season. I'm not worried about the Rockets in the regular season, right? They're going to be phenomenal because D'Antoni coaching his system is tailor-made for winning games in the regular season. It's all
they're going to be a good regular season team. It's just when they get in the playoffs, you can't have nobody sitting in the corner waiting on to catch the basketball and shoot. One of them got to be aggressive when the basketball's not in their hands. That's why I said this rotation basketball come in handy when you pass it around and get guys open to shoot a three. Learn to get guys open. You can't have them just sitting there in the playoff. It's not going to work. It can backfire on you because you're waiting on the basketball to come to you. Instead of just move without it and just be aggressive without it. That's the only thing about the team. It's going to be a good team, but when you got two players that dominate the basketball on the same team, you got to figure out something. You can't have them just sitting in the corner and just waiting. That's not going to help your team win the playoffs. All y'all got to be aggressive. I ain't got the basketball, I'm going to move without it. When I had the basketball in my hand, I'm going to create a shot for one of my teammates. Get him open. That's all. You just got two ball dominant players.
About playoffs to me.
I want to see how Westbrook plays because last year his free throw shooting went way down, and both volume and percentage. That's a vital part of his game and the vital part of his efficiency. And the Rockets are all about efficiency. It's practically the name of the game in the organization. Does he go back to playing the efficient way that he played when he was MVP, when he was the most efficient player in the league? Can Mike D'Antoni do that? And tonight is the beginning of that process.
Well, look, Russ was able to adjust to Paul George last year in a way that a lot of people didn't expect. So I expect him to try to adjust to Harden and really want to make this work. Do we think we'll see the one-legged shot tonight? Anyone from James Harden?
But you said it. That's James Harden wanted that trade. He wanted to play with Russell Westbrook, and that has given Mike D'Antoni his greatest belief that this will work was because the star players wanted it to work. And if James didn't want to play with Chris Paul anymore, even though we could all make the case Chris complimented him better, it wasn't going to work if James didn't want it to work, and so he's got the teammate that he wanted.
He couldn't have said anything better than that. It's true. If the guy doesn't believe in it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Although we did stick up there the money that these guys are making, and Woj, you mentioned the draft picks that were given up. Better work, right?
It's a lot. It's a 2-3 year window here, and they said we traded 34 years old for 30 years old. It gives us a longer window with James Harden. But if they don't win a championship here or get to the finals or whatever they will look at as success, there's going to be a very difficult period of time. You know, the Clippers gave up a great deal, but they got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in their prime. They gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps for Russell Westbrook, and there will be a price to pay later on when Daryl Morey's gone, Mike D'Antoni's gone, and probably James Harden and Russell Westbrook are all gone. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app, and for live